how expensive it is to keep up with content creation? You can get a 10K check from Twitch. What the is a 10K check when you gotta spend 5K on trips just to travel, $500 on setup, $2,000 on your rent, $200 on Wi-Fi, $200 on IRL toolkit. You gotta pay the clippers, pay a YouTube editor. Chat, I don't think y'all realizing I be going into negative doing this, okay?
React. She is going into the negatives, making 10 bands a month minimum.
She's going into the negatives because her oofy goofy got conned into blowing up in a content style that's not for her, and she scaled up way too quick. 5K on trips? Trick, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Like, what are we really talking about right now? 5K on, don't take the trips, dumb. Easy answer. Easy answer. Like, what are we really talking about? 2K in rent, move somewhere cheap. Easy answer. Like, what are we really talking about, bro?
So bored.
2K in rent, move somewhere cheap.
He's so bored, bro. I can't talk so much because I'll be spamming the beat, but you're right there, bro.
They's got a laugh track to the streams, bro. That's not funny. That's not funny.
You're bored, bro.
It's just, I don't get it, man. 10K and you busting down half of that to go travel to do what? Okay, I'm done. I'm not getting the complaints. She's clearly a short bus kid. Graduated short bus students are running wild on streaming services. I don't think people are realizing that. We really got to have that conversation. A lot of these people that we are seeing blow up when it comes to streaming, they had 3 people in their classroom when we were in school. They did not go to lunch with us.
Okay.
They ate mayonnaise for lunch, and now we're giving them microphones. Like, I don't.
This was an instrument. Okay.
Let me say this before Sage goes, man. I've been really thinking about it as a former person who tried to stream. I feel like I've done all forms of content, bro. I personally feel like, and respect to Sage because obviously he's the streamer out of the 3 of us. One day we'll really look back and look at the streamer boom and really say to ourselves, oh my goodness, this was the most inefficient way to create content ever. And I think right now the argument is that it actually is the most efficient way, right? You go live, you cut up, you don't have to edit everything. But the overhead to become a successful streamer, because I don't think she's lying about some of the things that she said. Like, some of these things are necessary to grow as a streamer. But like, it's just so inefficient. The game of streaming, specifically on Twitch, and the meta now is just insane. Streaming is the only form of content creation, and I'm specifically talking about Twitch streaming here. I understand you can stream on other platforms, where the meta to grow is to grow on other platforms so that you can transfer that audience to another platform. No other form of content, you have to do that. Whether you're a TikToker, whether you're a YouTuber, whether you're a podcaster. I understand podcasting, growing your audio audience is a little bit different. But you can grow a full podcast on YouTube and succeed. That's all you got to do. Streaming is the only one where not only do you have to grow big on another platform, but you have to transfer that over to Twitch to start making money, to start making the audience. To me, it's the most inefficient way to actually grow as a content creator. And it's unfortunate because of this boom that there's like a generation of content creators that believes that streaming is so much of the wave that other ways to create content is a waste of time to them. They're not even looking at YouTube. They're not even looking at TikTok. They're not even looking at all these different avenues because to them, oh, Kai Cenat's popping, DDG's popping, all these motherfuckers are popping. This gotta be what I gotta do. But in reality, your skill set, like what Damo said, might probably is better fit in a different style of content. Like, she's killing it on TikTok. I don't know why she can't just keep doing that. But hey, people have different aspirations, though.
How often is she buying equipment? Because Cardia made a very good point. Equipment should be a single time purchase. How are we equating that into every check you get in a month? You paying for equipment. How much equipment are you losing or breaking when you're traveling that you got to keep getting IRL setups and shit like that? Like, I don't know, man. That shit's dumb.
Yeah.
Well, As the stream of the platform, what Biso says is definitely interesting, but I'm not even going to necessarily harp on that too much outside of just the fact that it's always good to have knowledge and the ability to create your own stuff. That's why I'm kind of on like a pseudo rebellion on my own channel, even of just doing reactionary content and recording offline. But to talk about this woman here, I don't know her from a can of paint, but damn, you gave one of the worst takes I've heard in my life. And it sucks because it kind of stems from those people that kind of like have it better, but then try to cry, woe is me all the time. Yes, I even told my joke this podcast of, oh my God, I'm poor, LOL. But that's just because I'm like, a new homeowner. I'm struggling to adapt to that. That's what that is more than anything else. I'm not sitting here expecting somebody who's watching this on their phone in the car and doesn't even have a house that, hey, I'm poorer than you. That's just fucking weird. But she's going about it that way. And when you break it down, it almost is contradictory as well. Either that or something I'll say at the end. You talk about $400 Wi-Fi and IRL toolkit. Don't know why you're doing that. don't know why you're doing that, but we'll talk about that later. I'll believe her there. $500 stream setup. I actually think, if anything, you're downplaying that, or I would hope you're downplaying that. Your PC, your monitors, your camera, all that stuff. You're paying $400 a month for Wi-Fi. I'd assume your PC's at least 2 bands at that point. But as Cardiac said, as Damo said, it should be a one-time purchase. That should not be a monthly thing. So the money should more than even out by the end of the year. If not, you obviously significantly profit. Rent. Everyone pays rent, if not a mortgage. What are we doing? That is not a streamer exclusive thing that you go through. So you get that out of there. And obviously the eye popper, $5,000 in travel. And this is kind of where I'm going to just go ahead and say that Damo is like, if not hit it on the head, kind of alluding to what I was going to say. She thinks she's bigger than what she necessarily is at this moment in time. She could be bigger than me. I don't know who this woman is, but she's making 10 bands on Twitch. Probably is bigger streamer than me, but definitely you're definitely taking yourself at a point that you don't need to be in. You're trying to pull off Kai shit, DDG shit, or stuff from other creators that you don't need to be doing right now. That's not you trying to go all the way to the All-Star game, dog. You got in the NBA. Congratulations. Now go hoop. Like, but I don't know why you're trying to do all of that. This shouldn't be an issue for you. You need to scale to where you're at in your career. And I think while aspiring to be great is always something passionate, you don't need to essentially have negatives in your account if you're telling the gospel truth. You don't need to have negatives in your account trying to create content. If anything, content creation should always be a blessing for people. Everyone aspires to, and despite calling everyone a loser for a time and a time out, everybody's always talking about, damn, I wish I could just play the game and go live, because that's how fun and easy it should be. It shouldn't be something that, oh my God, I'm spending 10 bands a month. The worst thing and point that I say for the very, very end, I know I said last earlier, but I missed one, is paying editors. That's where the contradiction is. So you're not going to mention your YouTube check. You're not, and also you're paying editors vaguely. You didn't even mention how much you're paying them, which is fine. That's their business. But yeah, you have another YouTube check then. If you're making 10 bands on Twitch, I'd assume you're making at least 3 on YouTube. Let's say Twitch is a bigger platform. I'm assuming at least 3, 2 on YouTube. If not,
let's not forget TikTok.
Then let's not forget TikTok. Man, I just don't like that. I don't have disdain for this woman. Don't know from campaign. Probably won't ever talk about her again. But I just don't like when these things happen, when streamers cry, woe is me, and they have one of the best jobs you could possibly have in 2025. Come on.
To be fair, I did just look up her YouTube channel. She's purely paying for TikTok editors. She has, was it 7K subs? She put like 2K views a clip.
So at that point, you need to also then, and this is just advice, granted, again, probably at a higher floor than me, but maybe not. You need to invest in your YouTube. If you're streaming on Twitch, I understand TikTok is the best way to gain followers and subscribers and stuff, but you need to be somehow, some way taking that content, even if it's just shorts content, to YouTube. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's nasty out here, man. It's nasty out here.
Super nasty.
Yeah, I'm not. I keep saying it because I just shrug shoulders about the person, but I just don't like when streamers have done this. Don't get me wrong. When streamers say, "Yo, it's hard to sit there and deal with 5,000 people calling you a bitch and all that other stuff," that's fine. That's just genuine mental conversations, and that's fine. But don't sit there knowing that someone just sent you $100 2 minutes ago. Tell those individuals, "Yeah, man, life is hard financially." He just saw you say, "Oh, thank you, Glowzack, for the 10 gifted." What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't like that stuff at all, man.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, that's my bigger problem. Is like, especially as me and you, we've been in the game for like a minute now, and we have gone through the phase of like trying to legitimize our business, not only to like the public, but to specifically our family members. And these are the points that like delegitimize what we do. Like these are the points. Like when the streamer versus 9 to 5 conversation happened, that was also another point of like, bro, what the fuck are y'all doing, bro? Like, it's one thing to like recognize the hardships of being a content creator because they definitely exist, but to make points that clearly come off as like entitled ass motherfuckers, or people who minimize other people's struggles to prop up their own, like that's where it just gets corny to me. But
Yeah, it gets corny
And
there.
so
Go ahead, Damo.
I was gonna say, and so soon after being on streaming university, like you ain't even been around that long bit. Like, let's be real. Like I understand a lot of the times it's not the message, it's the messenger. But this is one of the occasions where the messenger and the message is basura. Trash. Like you knew. Why are we? This is your first 10K check. Like, what are we talking about? And you mad because you set yourself up to fail. You set yourself up. You just scaled up way too quick. And this is coming from someone who we scaled up relatively fast at points.
I've done
and
that.
We didn't even scale up to the level that I can't imagine scaling up in that way. Like, that's crazy.
Is devious.
5K and traveling.
Like I stole that from chat, but or like dead ass. Are you going out of the country every time you have an IRL stream? You understand the amount of stuff people really overestimate what makes a good clip in 2025. If we really have to do that, because I've always argued that certain levels of streamers are just dangerously lazy and certain are actually really good. There is certainly a way to not spend $5,000 a month on travel as an IRL streamer and have good content. You can stay anywhere in your local area and do things that people haven't done. A lot of people haven't gone to a gun range. A lot of people ain't been to a paint bar, a museum. These are things that you can probably drive 40 minutes max and get that done. You don't need to go to Bora Bora, Turks and Caicos, Cancun, Jamaica, get on this cruise, go to Italy, all that stuff to make clips.
But it's not even like she's doing that. And I was gonna say on the 5K and travel, she's doing it in the most inoperable way too. Like she's doing it though. She's traveling in the wrong way. She's spending money on unnecessary tickets, like seats on planes. She's getting unnecessarily expensive hotels because, to be honest, and I don't watch her content, but I would assume if she's doing this traveling, she's traveling to see other content creators or other people in the niche of what she's doing. I doubt she's just Turks and Caicos for the weekend. Here's the stream. Like, I don't think she's doing that type of traveling. I don't think she's doing vacation traveling. So you're telling me you're spending $5K a month taking a flight to LA so you can walk around and be in LA to see DDG or whatever boat party there is, so you can then go fly down to Miami, rent out a B&B for the weekend so you can get this other stream of you kicking it with Aiden or whoever it is, a streamer adjacent person. And that's just the content. Like, that's what she's spending money, $5,000 worth of doing that type of traveling. That's insane.
I think this kind of goes to a point. I forgot who said it. I think it was actually Marquez Brownlee. I ain't gonna lie, the GOAT. He said one of the best things to ever happen to him was never having a viral moment. Like he slowly built his platform up to the point where like his floor just kept on raising. And I think what Streamer University did, as good as it was, and I'm not hating on it. I still support moving forward.
We already had that
conversation. We've already had that conversation. I feel like the sudden blow ups for certain creators and streamers is a little bit too much. a little bit too sudden. And we know working with smaller content creators, being smaller content creators, especially at that stage, you just get fed information and you just take it as truth. So for her, looking at what everyone else is doing around her, this is what she has to do to make it as a content creator. She doesn't even know, and this goes back to my point earlier. She doesn't know the other ways you can make content and be more efficient with it. And like because I made a TikTok about it. People in the comments, oh, she has to do this to blow up. Y'all are on the same boat. Y'all are on the same boat. You don't need to spend 5 bands a month to fucking make 10K. I've done it before. All right. Maybe not now, but I've done it before. You do not need to spend 5 bands a month to travel to make 10 bands. Like, no, that's just no.
Yeah, I'm just like, even with travel, is she booking last minute? Maybe is she like the day of booking the tickets? I would assume. I would hope not. Again, I don't want to sit there and get into like an assumption thing with her, because hypothetically she sees this. We don't know anything about what you're doing.
I think to
But
be fair, I think she was just quickly yapping. Like,
Yeah,
those
quick-
numbers are probably inaccurate as fuck.
She's
but-
just thinking about how to break down
Mhm.
10,000 so it doesn't sound like much after. That was the
Yeah,
point of her doing those numbers.
100%. It's just, I just think what would be really beneficial if she's feeling this way is to slow down, because I needed to do this too. So, dead ass, slow down, decide what you want to do and what's going to work for you in the long run. As Bezos had that, Bezos, I don't know if, no, I actually don't think it was with Bezos. I had this conversation in depth with Caleb. Shout out to Caleb. And we were talking about what we like in the YouTube sphere. Do you like when channels are 2K, like new channels? You're 200 view, 40 view, 10K, 1K, 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 50K. Do you like those kind of growths, or do you like and it may take longer, but you go from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and thus forth. And I'm definitely for a while, and especially the way I got put on, I was just a random, oh shit, bullseye guy. But over time, I was like, now that I think about it, to make sure that I have a floor that doesn't expect me to do the roar, do the one thing, and then kind of just say, whatever, or I don't have to get caught up in this loop like how Aiden did with the rappers at one point, where I have to keep one-upping myself. You definitely want to slow burn it. So it's all fine and dandy to slow down, take your time, financially 100%, and just keep making consistent content that works for you, that does not require that much. I understand the checks might dwindle a bit. They probably won't, which is crazy, but the checks might dwindle a bit, but you gotta slow down. There ain't no reason all the money you getting from Twitch is going right back out the window, unless you have a very clear-cut long-term plan. And if by your conversations that seems like expenses are going to continue to rise as your checks rise, then what are we doing?
Facts.
Got
All
a little nerdy there, Chad, but I try to keep it as unnerdy as I can because I'm not a nerd.
Nerd that shit up. Fuck it.
I'm not like A+ financial literacy. I'm like a B- student, but that's just not even finance. That's just common sense. It's dead logic.
Yeah. But hey, there's a lot of bad information out there, bad educators out there. So
For sure.
it is what it is, man. You just gotta stick through the bullshit.